Okay, it's I'm not getting you. I'm not getting your audio. But I some people have joined earlier. I want to confirm if your audio is okay and you can hear me. Okay. Hello, can you go to your audio section on the listening side? Hello,
Please.
can you hear me now?
Let's do fast. Share.
Can you hear me? Wow. Hello. No. Yes.
Share pọ̀ fẹ́mi jàre. Mi ò rí àwọn láyè gbogbo ilé.
Okay, got a link to class, but I will just start. Okay.
Yes, let's start on time.
Okay, no problem. Let me start. Can you see my screen? Can you see my slide? Okay, no problem. Let me just start. Okay, so good evening. I will be taking the Ielts listening class tonight. I will be starting. I guess I have three broad topics from under which I teach the Ielts listening. The general rule, the question types, and handling of maps, diagrams, and charts. Okay, so now I will be starting tonight with the general rule. I'll be introducing the concept of the general rule. And this general rule is particularly good for people who are writing. Normally, this is if you are in a hurry to write the exam. I normally teach people who want to write it in a hurry just this, and they will be fine by it. So I will introduce the general rule. This general rule are particularly 5 of them. And so let me go to my slide now. Okay, so number 1, I said this general rule, you need to apply it in every section. When you get to section 1, so you need to do these 5 things so that you can be focused and not lose attention. Number one, you need to read to understand the instruction given to you. Okay, so you need to read to understand the instruction given to you. And okay, I will have to mute everybody now so that we can all enjoy the class. Okay, so you need to read to understand the question and the instruction. Sorry, it is very important because Mr. Felix or Dr. Felix, welcome. I hope you are able to see my slide, despite the fact that you are not showing your video. Then that's not a problem. Once you can see my slide, the thing there is that there are instructions in every section. If you start section 1, there will be instruction for the first set of 5 questions, maybe 4 questions. So there will be instruction. So you need to pay attention to this instruction. Number 1, it can say write no more than 2 words. Let me use my cursor so that you can see. Write no more than 2 words or a number. The emphasis will be bolded, so you need to pay attention, because if you are required not to write more than 2 words and you write 3 words, you will be marked wrong. Okay, so write no more than 2 words or a number. Some places will say write no more than 3 words or a number. Okay, some places is to say write no more than 1 word. When it says or a number, it means you can have the option of having a 3rd word, but it must be a number, either written in numeral or in words. Okay, so this is the first thing you need to do in every section. We're going to do some practices. Okay, the second thing you need to also do, so those who are joining us, I'm just starting the class. There are 5 general rules. I'll be teaching the topic of Ielts listening tonight, and I'll be teaching other 3 others. Tonight, possibly I'm just going to cover one aspect, because I'm going to introduce the method, and we're going to do some practices. Okay, so under the general rule, I said there are 5 of them. Read and understand the instruction you are given. Okay, the second one is read and understand the topic. I said most of the time topic will be given before the start of the audio. Number 1, you need to pay attention to the topic, so you will be able to narrow your mind down. For example, the topic can be about hotel accommodation. So you know that everything to be discussed will be about hotel accommodation. So your guess will start getting better when you are able to really narrow the topic down, okay, to what you are expected to work on. Okay, then after that, you need to, for example, I'm saying below is a subtopic. It's saying the personal detail for homestay. For homestay application, it means all discussion will be centered on a Japanese girl homestay family, then the filling of a particular form. So I want to show you the form now. Okay, this is the topic, personal detail for homestay. Please always pay attention to the topic so as to narrow your mind down to what you are expected to do, and your mind should stop wondering about. Okay, now I will quickly move to the number 3 point, which I call the crucial parts. The first 2 rules I gave are very important, but the 3rd one is what will help you to actually transit with the audio without losing track. Yes, because one of the things or the major problem people face is actually losing track of the audio. Okay, now, so the 3rd rule is understand the question layout or format. Okay, all these rules are the things you need to apply in every section. Understand the question layout or format. So before the audio starts, you need to read the instruction and understand it. You need to read the topic and understand it. And you need to understand the question layout or format. Because when the audio starts, you have a 30 seconds space or a 30 seconds window to use to understand the question format. For example, what do I mean by question format? This is a particular question and the topic is personal details for homestay. Okay, now on the left hand side, you have the first name, then number one is missing. It means you will be filling in the first name in number one. Family name has been given as Uchini, then gender has been given as female, age has been given as 28, passport number is missing. So understand the question format or layout. Okay, nationality has been given, course enrolled is missing. That's number 3. So these are the things you need to particularly pay attention to. Length of course missing, homestay time. So these are the things that will guide you to know that as soon as number 1 is given, answer is given, you go to number 2. And before question number 1 is given, you pay attention. There may be a general introduction between the two people exchanging greetings. Then this person needs to fill a form because he wants an accommodation. And then the person at the other end will ask for the name of the person. Possibly ask, when name is being mentioned, most of the time, names will be spelled. So now let me go into another question format because this particular, it is still the same. This is another question format. This is a question I call a matching task. I will still be coming into the question types in subsequent lectures so as to get accustomed to different question types. So how do you understand the question format or layout of this question? This question is saying section 2, question 11 to 15. What change has been made to each part of the health club? The part of the health club is on the right hand side. You have the swimming pool, you have the locker rooms, you have the exercise room, you have the tennis courts, and you have the club store. Okay, now on the left hand side, the Ford Health Club, these are the things that has happened to them. So you need to now match. Okay, it is possible that the swimming pool has just been repainted. So if the audio indicated that the swimming pool has been repainted, you will match it with this. So the first thing you need to do is that you know you are going to match. You will be hearing option A, B, C in the discussion. They won't be telling you option A, B, C, but you need to listen out to what is happening to swimming pool, to locker rooms, because the answers will be given in sequence of the question. There are few occasions the rules are broken. Okay, so that is it about question format or layout. I will still be unmuting everyone later. If you have any question, I'll be answering your question. And if you know how to use this software or package properly, please send your question to the chat box or the chat area. Okay, so now let me go into another question format or layout because I need to explain this because, for example, this is the latter part of the complex listening part. Okay, this is the question format. This is complete the timeline below. Okay, that's the question. Then write no more than 3 words and or a number for each answer. So if you look at this is a date and this is a name and this is something missing. You don't get it yet. But if you come to question 34, if you look at question 31, 32, 33, you can see that this is a date. This is a timeline, not a particular date, but it's a timeline, and this is an age. So this part on the left-hand side is a timeline. Okay, if you come to question 34, that part is missing, but the second part is there. So Alcott enlisted as in the army. Question 35 is saying Alcott published letters in book called Hospital Sketches. Okay, so it means that this question format is the left hand side is the dates or dates of events, and on the right hand side you have the action or the event that occurred. So when 1832 is mentioned, something happened. You need to listen out to what the audio is going to be saying happened at that time. In Athens, Alcott walked to something happened. At age 17, wrote her dash, wrote something. So here, the date is missing. So the timeline is missing. I call it timeline. It could be date. It could be reference to a particular time in our life. Okay, Alcott enlisted in an army nurse, date missing. Publish a letter, date missing. Returned from a trip to Europe, date missing. 37, date missing. 38, date given, action missing. So this is the way to understand question format or question layout. Before the audio starts, you must understand the question format in every section so that when the audio starts, you are not guessing. You are just expecting the audio to speak and you pick your answers. Okay, that is it about question format and question layouts. I hope we have understood. Okay, I will give the fourth and fifth rule, then open the line before we unmute, before we now do some practices, because I want to explain, then you practice, explain, then you practice. Okay, the fourth rule is have two questions in sight or mind. Okay, one thing about the Ielts is that sometimes there is lengthy discussion, sometimes there is short-paced discussion that the answers between questions are given in a short space of 5 seconds. Okay, so when you have two questions in sight, let me say, you are about to answer question 11, but you also have locker room. What's happening to locker room in sight? Because when there is a lengthy discussion before getting to question 12, your mind is at rest that the audio has not gotten past you if you have two questions in sight. And two, if the answer of question 12 is being given while you are putting down the answer of question 11, you need to be aware. Some instances, it happens in the latter part, in the 20s and in the 30s. They do not do it to 3 questions. It only happened in the space of 2 questions. So if it is done, the third question, there will be a space, some lengthy discussion before the answer of the third question is given. So those 2 things, lengthy discussion or they give answer in a short space. And this rule, having 2 questions in sight, mind will not wander away. When you are question 11, your mind is also on question 12. How? Because through the question format, rule 3, you have skimmed through all the question and you understand the question. Then now you have to now come back to focus on question 31 and 32. When answer 32 is given, 31 is given, you go to 32 having 33 in mind. So when you quickly understand the format, then when the audio is about to start, you are on 2 questions. And number 5 rule is a common thing. You need to focus. Irrespective of the rule that I have given, you need to learn how to focus. In the normal class, I normally tell people, one of the things you need to do is, if you can meditate, stay on 1 or 2 things for like 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes, because that is the space of a particular section or the length of a particular section. One of the reasons people fail is they lost focus or they got distracted by fellow examiner or fellow candidate, because sometimes one candidate has lost track and the person tried to make noise. Please, you need to just pay attention to yourself. And also when you are at home practicing, you need to learn how to focus and stay put in one place for a long time. Especially start practicing staying in one place for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, so that you don't get distracted or do other things. So now I will unmute. If you have any question, I want to know, then before we continue. So any question, please? Okay, Dr. Felix, any question? Afiam, any question?
No.
Mary
No
Dada,
question.
any question?
For now, none.
Okay, any question?
Hello?
No.
Okay, now I'll be transiting back to the slide. So you need to find a pen and a paper because we're going to do some practices. I want to see you use the rule, and well, the only disadvantage you have is that you'll be seeing the question on my screen and you'll also be hearing the audio from my end. So you will fill in the answer. The audio will be very clear, I assure you about that. So that is it. So I will transit to the slide now to display the question, then play the audio that follows. Okay, please, is my slide very clear? Can you see properly? Hello? Okay, I want to confirm because I need to be sure you can see the slide properly before you can do the task. Afion, can you see the slide? I have removed it now, but were you able to see before?
I can.
Were you able to
Yes,
see
I could, but it's still showing.
It's still showing.
From my end, I could. No, it has gone off now.
Okay, I will show it back. So I will go back. So can you see it now? Is it clear?
Yes, I can from my end.
I will play the audio from this side.
Enter to Bluetooth.
The first few so that you can start. Okay. First of all, I will play. Don't start yet. I want to just confirm my audio if you can hear me.
You will have one left at the library. First, you have some time to questions 1 to 5.
Okay, sorry, let me increase the volume. Let me
Section 1.
Is the volume okay? Is the volume okay?
A man talking about their work at the library.
I can hear you.
Hello?
It's not clear at all.
First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to
Okay, let me
5.
start.
It's not clear.
Okay, I did a recording and it was clear in the afternoon. Why is it not clear? Okay, let me do some things to see. It's telling me actually that it's having problem because I want us to really practice and I've tested it. Wow. Okay.
Section 1. You will hear a woman and a man talking about their work.
I'm mute now, so I will confirm if it is clear. I will mute because I think background sound.
Section 1. You will hear a woman and a man talking about their work at a library. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 5. Section 1. You will hear a woman and a man talking about their work at a library. First, you have some... Section 1. You will hear a woman and a man talking about their work at a library. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 5.
How the library works and what your duties will be. First, the library opens at 8:30 in the morning, so naturally we expect you to be here and ready to work by then.
Of course.
And you can go home at 4:30 when the library closes. Now, let me explain where everything's kept.
It looks like here on the ground floor is where the reference books are.
Yes, that's right. Up on the second floor is where the adult collection is, both fiction and non-fiction.
And the children's books are there too, aren't they? I thought I saw them in the room by the stairway.
No, those are magazines and newspapers for adults. Children's books are up one more flight on the third floor. We'll take a look at them later. Let me show you how we organize our work. Do you see that brown book cart over there?
The one by the door?
Yes, that one. Those books have been checked in and need to go back on the shelves.
Okay, so the brown book cart has books to reshelve. What about this black cart by the desk?
Those books have torn pages or damaged covers. They're all books that need to be repaired.
Okay, I know how to do a lot of that. I'm pretty good at mending torn pages and covers.
That's great, because we really need help with that.
And that white cart in the corner, what are those books for?
Those are old books that we've taken off the shelves to make room for new ones. We sell them as used books to raise money for the library.
So they're all ready to sell?
Yes, that's right. So now you know what to do with the books in the carts. Let's talk about our activity schedule.
Okay, so were we able to get that?
Yes.
To an extent.
Okay, was it the audio or was it the screen?
The audio.
Audio.
The audio is not clear.
Okay.
The screen is clear, but there's a lot of, I don't know if it's interference. And
Yeah,
then
exactly.
the audio, it keeps breaking. It breaks.
Okay, children.
Okay.
Yes, because
Okay, no problem. So the thing is that you didn't get all the questions in the audio.
Oh, we were able to get it not that clear.
I did, but I lost track on the, I lost track again.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello.
Okay. I'm hearing you.
I said for my end, I think I did, but on the fifth answer, it wasn't very clear again, so I lost track.
Okay, was it the audio or was it the
between
screen?
the voices and the audio?
It was the audio.
The screen, yes, the screen was clear.
Okay. If the scene was clear, I want to. So the audio, but you got it from 1 to 4 because I'm trying to fix the audio. I fixed it. I think there was a system problem that keep coming up. Okay. But are you able to question 1 to 4? Please, if you can use the text, if you got it, who else was able to capture question 1 to 4?
yes, I capture question even 1 to 5.
Okay, you captured 1 to 5.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I captured
not 1 to 5.
Okay, so question 1 is actually 8:30.
Yes.
Question 2 is reference books.
Reference. Question 2 with children books.
I think this thing has to do much more with network, this thing, because your voices are also breaking. I think it's more of
There's a
network.
mix up, not only network, there's a mix up in the background.
Okay, no problem. Then question 3 is children's book.
Yeah.
Question 4 is books to be repaired. Be repaired is what you are.
Prepared.
Yes. Okay, question 5, that aspect. Okay. Normally, I think network is contributing to it because your voices are breaking to me here as well. Okay. So I know that this first section is not a complex part. I would have loved us to go into other section, but I don't know how the audio is going to really help. But one thing I want to point out is the fact that when you are listening, you need to understand the question format before the audio starts. Then you are just picking your answer and you have 2 questions in sight as the audio is reading out the information. The first section is always easier. When you get into the 20s, you start getting the conversation gets a bit faster, and sometimes in terms of it gets cumbersome, they talk too much.
Exactly.
So yes, you still need to apply the same rule there. Let me see if our audio can still be helpful.
Agency Bluetooth.
So I want us to try the next section. I will transit to it now. Okay, so can you see the next section?
Yeah.
Okay, So this one is a bit more, a little more complex, because on top here is what you call activity. So question 7 will be an activity question. On top here, let me see if I can use my cursor. I think it keeps freezing. On top here is location. So room, and you've been given children's room, reference room. On top here is day and time. So this is, I'm just explaining the question layout and format. This side, the day is missing, the time is given. This side, the day is given, the time is missing. So also question 10, the day is given, the time is missing. So when you start from question 6, it's me question 6, in sequence of the audio is going to talk about what is going to, you are expecting to listen for is the day. So when you understand the question format like that, you know what to listen for in the audio. So I will play the audio now again and see if it will be better at this time around. Okay, so let us attempt this part. Okay, so listen.
Now listen
to answer
questions 6 to 10.
I understand this library has a number of interesting activities every week.
Yes, our activities are quite popular. The most popular one is story time for the children.
Do a lot of children show up for that?
Yes, a good many. It takes place in the children's room on Thursday mornings at 11.
Isn't there a family movie night too?
Yes, but it's not at night anymore. We used to have family movies on Fridays when the library is open until 9, but now we have a different activity at that time, so we had to switch family movies to the weekend, Saturday afternoon.
How much do you charge for the movies?
They're all free. The movie always starts at 2:30 in the reference room, but you don't have to worry about that since you don't work on weekends.
And what takes place on Friday evenings?
We've just started a weekly lecture series. We have a different speaker every week, and the lectures cover all different kinds of topics.
That sounds like something I'd be interested in attending.
Good, because we'll need your help with that. You'll be working Friday evenings, and one of your duties will be to set up the meeting room on the first floor for the lecture.
What time will you need that done?
Let's say by 6:15. The lecture starts at 6:30, and the room needs to be ready well ahead of time. A lot of people arrive early.
Maybe I should have the room ready by 6?
That wouldn't be a bad idea. Okay, why don't I take you upstairs and show you the rest of the collection?
That is the end of section 1. You now have half a minute to check your answers.
So how was that? It was poor. Okay.
Yes.
Hello.
I'm still trying to.
I can't hear you from your end.
Yes,
I can't hear you from your end.
the exercise had started.
I think it's more of the net, because you are also breaking.
From my end, I made up the conversation, no doubt. But honestly, I lost that. I didn't even know when it started with the question and when the questions and when it ended. I realized that to fit in what.
Let me check my mic. I am not okay, because I'm not hearing you. You are also breaking. Okay, Afion, you were saying something.
Yeah, I thought it was reasonably clear. I could make out the conversation, but frankly, I wasn't following. I was still looking at the questions and trying to figure out how the conversation fitted into the questions, only to realize that it was going on for rather too long to be an introduction. And then just while I was still trying to pick out, the conversation had ended.
Exactly.
So, but I heard out everything, but I didn't make any attempt.
Okay, I think because I start in the middle, the thing there is that between the first 5 questions we did and the next 5 questions, there are 30 seconds gap. So you need to be fast in decoding the question. So I explained it, because that's one of the key things that, as much as the audio has not permitted me to really do justice, I think it is more of network, because your discussion is also breaking to me here. I don't know if you can hear me clearly. Okay. Okay, I think more, it is more of network this evening. The thing there is that because I tested it, recorded it in the afternoon, tested, and checked if the audio was sound and perfect. Because I know communicating audio over the this thing could be, I can't use the laptop audio alone, it can't cope. So I got some inbuilt speaker that can speak, but now I think the network. But one thing is that you have 30 seconds to really decode the question. And before the audio starts, those rules I gave, you need to have done the 5 of them. It means your pace needs to be faster. Yes. Before the audio starts, it means you need to now be on question 6, waiting for the audio to start. The audio must not start when you are still trying to decode your question. So those 5 rules are the things you need to practice and use before the audio starts in each subsection. Okay, I will have to mute because it's like voices from background. So what I was saying is that you need to, the rule, the question, the instruction, the format, and also having to, the format, that's number 3. You need to have decoded it before the audio starts. You just go to the, when you have done that, you now go to the beginning of the question, then apply the 4th rule and the 5th rule. Focus, have 2 questions in sight. At the beginning, you might be finding it difficult, but you need to find a way. Sorry, I need to drink water. You need to find a way to ensure that you have observed the first 3 rules before the audio starts speaking. You have 30 seconds to do that. So that's what I'm trying to actually convey. Please, the audio won't make me go ahead with the practices, but I will try to see what I can do to, because I have to do a lot of connection for the audio, thinking it was going to work, done some recordings, and it was perfect. But I will still go into what was wrong with it. So when you are doing your personal practice, these are the things you must do. Those 5 guidelines, please follow them. At first, it will be hard, but later, as you are mastering them, your mind will be focused. So I will mute now. If you have any question, before I call it a day, so that we can contribute. And for Thursday, I might possibly see what I can do for us to also practice and be able to give feedback from, because I want to see where you are missing. If the audio is perfect, the screen is perfect, I want to see what the problem is, especially those who said, if it is a concentration problem, that is your problem, or you don't figure out the question on time, so that we'll be able to discuss how you are going to navigate around it. But I discovered that if you are practicing on your own and you are still having problem with the pace of the audio, it means you need to practice more to get used to the pace. If you are easily distracted when they are discussing at length, it means your focus has a problem. One thing is that you need to learn how to focus. That one, you have to teach yourself. Possibly in the physical class, I make students, you have to be able to sit in a spot for a long time. We take attention tests. Maybe I'll be able to introduce it for the online class too, so that you can focus on one thing at a time, so that your mind will not be getting distracted. That's why I said have 2 questions inside. If you have 2 questions inside, you are already on question 1 and your mind is on question 2. You won't be able to think of another thing, but you need to master it. You need to start practicing it. And if you are a meditation person, whether a Christian or Muslim, start meditating. for like 10, 15, 20 minutes without focusing or getting distracted with other things. So those are the advice I will give this evening, and I want us to contribute, despite the fact that the audio didn't allow me do justice. So that's just it. Okay, any question, please? Hello? Okay, Opayami, you want to, any question?
No question for now.
Dr. Felix, any question?
There's no question for now.
Okay, Mr. Chima, any question?
No question actually, but because I came in late, not quite long. I came in like some 5-10 minutes ago. I just got back from work, so I want to believe we're talking about listening, right?
Yeah, we are discussing
The
listening.
listening test.
Yes, I will still continue.
Okay, so maybe no problems.
But I will
All
give.
right, no problems. Yeah.
I will send you the recording so that you can check it out. The 5 basic rules that you need to start so that you don't the focus of the audio. So those are the things that we treated tonight. Okay, and Mary Dowda, any question, please?
No question for now.
Okay, no question. So I hope that by the time we meet next class, as simple as these 5 rules are, it helps. Please, it's unfortunate we can't practice, but please, in your own private practice, I want you to start using them. Yes. Okay, so I will say good night for tonight, and I hope you are able to join me again for Thursday. I'll be treating the question types and the peculiarity of different questions and how to handle them, because some questions are pretty difficult, and possibly the third lecture on listening, I'll be taking the maps, diagrams, and charts. Because the maps, diagrams, and charts, I've seen people complain a lot about it. Some people leave it undone. So that's what we'll be doing. So I will say good night. And so till Thursday by 9 p.m. same time. Thank you for joining.
Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Okay.